We are live. We can wait another minute. Once I'll share this link, we can start. Speak.
Can I start, Mataji?
Give me a minute, Mataji, please. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. This evening, we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Madhavi Gaurangi Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam summary. We are now in the fourth canto. Today, we are having the seventh chapter, fourth canto, seventh chapter. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for coming on the call and giving us the chapter summary. I now hand over the call to you. Please take over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Teshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyacha kripa sindhuva evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran today. And you all are very exalted Vaishnavas. And please give me your blessings so that I can speak correct words according to the Shastras, according to the scriptures. And may right words come at the right time. And I will be able to serve you, all of you, as well as Lord Shri Krishna and our acharyas. And for my purification, I will try to summarize the chapter today with the best of my capability. So, Hare Krishna, all of you, and thank you so much for joining in tonight. So today we are starting with chapter 7, and the title is the sacrifice performed by Daksha. Till now, we have learned that how Daksha said harsh words to Lord Shiva, and he insulted Lord Shiva because he thought that Lord Shiva insulted him by not raising up from his seat when during the sacrifice which was arranged by Daksha. So how Lord Shiva just left that assembly because so many cursing and counter cursing was happening at that time. And then after some time, Daksha again arranged the sacrifice, and how Mother Sati, who is wife of Lord Shiva, wanted to attend the sacrifice, and how she left her body. And then how Veerabhadra, which came from the hair of Lord Shiva, and how he destroyed the whole arena of sacrifice. And then later on, we saw that how Daksha was killed, his head was chopped off, and now Lord Brahma, along with all the demigods, they went and prayed to Lord Shiva to pacify him. And now we come on to this chapter 7. And chapter 7, let me turn on the presentation which I made. Oh, I did not. Just give me a minute to share the screen. Yeah. So chapter 7 and the sacrifice performed by Daksha. Now, so this chapter is pretty long. So I tried my best to just capture the main title points and the verses also, so that it will be easier for us to understand. And then the main caption I will say, and then I will explain it. So from verses 1 to 12, it is being headed as Lord Shiva revives Daksha's life. So we saw that Lord Brahma, along with the demigods, tried to pacify Lord Shiva. And in the verses 1 to 2, Lord Shiva smilingly spoke that his punishment be only for correction. So Lord Shiva, he was smilingly spoke with Brahma, and he said that his punishment was for correction for the demigods. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has very clearly and very nicely mentioned that how there are two types of punishment. One punishment which a conqueror will give to an enemy, and the other punishment which a father will give it to his son. So they are two types of punishment. So the intention or the consciousness behind both the punishments are different. So if a conqueror is punishing an enemy, the consciousness behind that is hatred or to defeat that person. But the other consciousness, when a father gives punishment to a child, the consciousness behind them is to correct the child for the future, or is to discipline the child so that a child can make the can make differentiation between right and wrong. So therefore, Lord Shiva said that these are childish, these demigods are childish, and I punish them only because they have childlike mentality, because they don't understand the position of Lord Shiva, as he's the guna incarnation of the Lord, qualitative incarnation of the Lord, and also Shakti-Avesh avatar, Avashesha avatar of the Lord. So that's why they made mistake, and they were siding Daksha at the time of sacrifice. And from 3rd to 5th, verses 3rd and 5, Lord Shiva fulfills the request of Lord Brahma partially. So in the verses 3 to 5, it has been described that what the damage caused by Veerbhadra and the followers of Lord Shiva at the time of sacrifices were rectified by Lord Shiva, but he has done it partially. He did not rectify the position completely, and how I'm going to explain right now. So Daksha, he will get a head of a goat. So Daksha, he had a bad intelligence, or he had a his intelligence was not correct towards the Shiva. So it has been explained in previous chapter. That's why his head was chopped off by Veerabhadra. And then Srila Prabhupada in the purport explained very, very nicely that how right now we think, or these days in modern days, we think that consciousness is connected with the brain or the head. That's what doctors or scientists are telling us. Once the brain or head is chopped off, our consciousness will not be there. And Srila Prabhupada has explained that how not true the statement is, because Daksha, who had a head of a human being, when he got chopped off, and again the head of a goat has been given to him by Lord Shiva, he was completely revived, and he was talking exactly like the previous Daksha who was there before his head was chopped off. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that consciousness is actually the function of soul, and it comes from the soul. And once the head was revived, head is just a body part. And once the head was revived, Daksha's soul continued to live in his body, and he started to pray to Lord Krishna, to Lord Shiva as before. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned very nicely in the purport that how it is very important for us to understand that we should understand that this consciousness which is spreading in the entire body and also in the entire universe is the manifestation of the Lord's energy. So, and the next is Bhaga. Bhaga, he can see because his eyes were taken off, so he can see his portion of the sacrifice with the Mitra's eyes. Why? Because his eyes got contaminated with fault, devoid of the spiritual vision. Again, I explained before also that how all these followers of Daksha, they were thinking that Lord Shiva, he is just an ordinary demigod, and there is a difference. As I explained before in my last class also, that how in Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse number 28, in the purport, it has been explained very clearly that demigods are the differentiated parts and parcel, and they are just like us. They are living entities, but they have given special powers by the Lord to manage the affairs of this world. But Lord Shiva is not on that platform. He is the expansion of the plenary portion of the Lord, and Lord Shiva has 86% of the opulences of the Lord, whereas Lord Brahma has 78% of the opulence of the Lord. And the Lord, other incarnations, which are plenary portions like Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu, they have 93%. It has been mentioned in the purport in that particular verse. Next, Pusha, whose 2 teeth has been taken away because he has shown his teeth at the devotees and laughed at him. So Pusha, he was benedicted by Lord Shiva that he can chew through the teeth of his disciples, or he can eat chickpea dough if he want to satisfy himself alone. And then priest and other people, other sages who were on the side of Lord Shiva, they just Lord Shiva said that yes, they're all the limbs which were injured, they will be revived completely. And then Brigu, whose mustache was taken away, he will have the mustache of a goat. And from 6 to 8, it has been described, appreciating the words of Lord Shiva, sages go to the sacrificial arena along with Shiva and Brahma and join the goat head to Daksha's body. So when everybody heard about the benedictions or the revival which Lord Shiva has given or promised to all the demigods who suffered during the because of Veerbhadra and his followers, everybody became so happy and they started saying sadhu, sadhu, or they were agreed. And particularly in verse number 6, there is a name which is given to Lord Shiva is Midusatma, and Srila Prabhupada has very nicely has explained that why one of the name of Lord Shiva is Midusatma, and also one of his name is Ashutosh. Ashutosh means that one who can be easily pleased by anyone. So that's why Lord Prabhupada has mentioned that Lord Shiva, he just gives benediction without any consideration. But sometimes we can see in our scriptures that how Lord Shiva also also directs his devotees towards Krishna consciousness also. Like there is a story mentioned by Prabhupada in the same purport, that how Lord Shiva directed one of his poor Brahmana devotee to visit Sanatana Goswami, because Sanatana Goswami has much more important jewel or the reason to be happy. And then that Brahmana went to see Sanatana Goswami, and then Sanatana Goswami said there is a touchstone which is there in the garbage, and he just grabbed that touchstone and became very happy. But when he reached home, he was thinking to himself that if this touchstone is the only happiness which that Sanatan Goswami had, then why this touchstone was in the garbage? So that means there is something else better than that. So he again went to him, and once he went to him, then he asked Sanatana Goswami, and then Sanatana Goswami told him, first you throw this stone in the river, and then I will explain you later what is the real happiness in life. And that's how Sanatana Goswami introduced that poor Brahmana into Krishna consciousness. And also we see that how Lord Shiva gave prayers to Prachetas, and how Prachetas prayed in a river for several thousands of years. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Lord Shiva also directs his devotees to Krishna consciousness. And then they went to the sacrificial arena, and there everything was conducted as per the desire of Lord Shiva. And then what they did, they just took a head of an animal who was meant for the sacrifice, goat, and then they chopped off the head from the goat and put it on the dead body of Daksha. And that's how Daksha got revived. And Daksha got revived. And from 9 to 11, it has been explained that once Daksha freed of contamination, Daksha desired to offer prayers to Shiva, but out of grief of his daughters that he couldn't. So once Daksha got his head, Daksha just woke up as if he is waking from the sleep. And when Daksha woke up, he saw Lord Shiva in front of him. And he started praying to Lord Shiva. But he remembered, but he remembered how the terrible death of his daughter Sati, and how he made mistake by not understanding the real position of Shiva, and in his mistake he even lost his daughter. So when I was reading this chapter, I was thinking that these anarthas, Daksha is one of the Prajapatis, and these anarthas, they are so strong that even in our anger or in our false ego, it becomes very difficult for a human being to distinguish between right and wrong, and how we end up losing the most precious things in our life. So from Daksha's life, we can understand this basic principle of our life, that it is very important for all of us to judge what is right and wrong. And how we can judge it? If we are practicing our Krishna consciousness very nicely, if we are in the process, then that consciousness gives us the ability to judge right and wrong. As Lord Shri Krishna in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he says, Jnana Deepena Bhashyata. Krishna, from the heart of a devotee as a Chaitya Guru, he instructs and he directs the direction of devotees. So, and that was my interpretation while I was reading the chapter. So, Daksha, the prayers of Daksha in verses from verses 13 to 15, Daksha was praying on to Lord Shiva, although earlier he was not able to do that because he was crying, because he realized that he lost Sati, and he made a mistake understanding the position of Lord Shiva. But I'm sorry. But then he started praying to Lord Shiva, and he said that by punishing me, you have showered mercy on me. As Lord Shiva also explained it to Brahmaji, that these demigods or everybody who got punished in this process, I punish them just to teach them the lesson. And that's the same thing which Daksha is saying here, that by punishing me, you showered mercy on me. And although he was an offender, and he was saying that you and Vishnu never neglects Brahma Bandhus. So, Srila Prabhupada in the purport very nicely explained the meaning of Brahma Bandhus. The Brahma Bandhus are those people who are Brahmana by birth, because Daksha is a son of Lord Brahma. So he was a Brahmana by birth, but they don't follow the principles of being a Brahmana. So they are called Brahma Bandhus. So Daksha said that I am a Brahma Bandhu, and he admitted his position that he fell down from the position of a true Brahmana by not understanding the pure Vaishnav Lord Shiva. And then he was saying in verse 14 that you always protect the Brahmanas, as if the cowherd boys protect the cows with a stick. Now, this analogy is very interesting, because Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that how with a stick or in the hand, a cowherd boy just shows the stick. The cowherd boy never start hitting a cow. He just shows the stick to the cow just to make that cow discipline in whatever task the cow is doing. So a very beautiful analogy has been given by Daksha. Just like a cowherd boy protects the cows with a stick, just like that, you protects the Brahmana. You protects the Brahmana in their pursuits of Vidya, Tapa, Vrata, and self-realization. And then he admitted that I insulted you with the harsh words, and now I don't have the ability to pacify you, Lord Shiva. So please be merciful on me, and you please be satisfied by your own mercy. So here, Daksha is saying that I will not be able to pacify you with my words and with my knowledge or wisdom, because I don't have any. So you please be satisfied and pacified by your own mercy. And after this, from 16 to 25, the topic is Daksha starts the sacrifice and Lord Vishnu arrives. So from 16 to 17, verses 16 and 17, it has been described that he begins the sacrifice and Purodasha oblations are offered. Now here, Lord Shiva became happy by the prayers of Daksha, and then he told, and according to in the direction of Lord Shiva, and with the permission of Brahma, Daksha again began the sacrifice. Now, again began the sacrifice in verse 17. It has been mentioned that there were Purodasha oblations were given, and these Purodasha oblations are meant to purify the area. The sacrificial area which was all destructed, or which was all destructed by Veerbhadra and his followers. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport mentions that we should not do any kind of sacrifice or any kind of yagna or any kind of ritualistic ceremonies in an unclean place. It is very important to be clean while doing your sadhana, or while performing any kind of yagna or any kind of sacrifice for Lord Vishnu, because it is really, really very important. And the arena was contaminated by Veerbhadra by passing stool and urine. So that's why the oblations of Purodasha oblations were offered. And in verses 18 to 19, it has been mentioned that how as soon as King Daksha offered the clarified butter along with Yajurveda mantras, Lord Hari appeared. Lord Hari appeared on Garuda. And then from verses 20 to 21, there is a very, very, very nice description of Lord's form. Here, and I'm going to read the headline. I'm going to read the main points. Lord, blackish in complexion, golden yellow garments Lord was wearing. His crown was as dazzling as the sun. His hair was as bluish like black bees. His face was decorated with earrings. He has 8 hands holding conch, wheel, club, lotus, arrow, bow, shield, and sword, and they were decorated with golden ornaments. His body was appearing like a blue lotus flower, and his chest was decorated with the goddess of fortune and a garland. His face was decorated with a beautiful glance and smiling attitude that can captivate the entire world. And he has a white canopy on canopy overhead, and also he has swans on both of his sides. And then in verses 22 to 25, the demigods offer respect and prayers as per their capacity by the Lord's mercy. So demigods offer prayers, and they say that because of the Lord's unlimited glories, nobody can offer prayers to Lord with their intelligence. So they were praying to the Lord that may Lord give them the capacity to glorify the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And then in the verses 26 to 27, the demigods offer prayers to Lord Vishnu is continued, and there are 19 personalities from verse number 26 to 47 who offered prayers to in various prayers to Lord Vishnu. And I made little notes, and I'm going to read the synopsis of the prayers. That's why the chapter is so long, because everybody is offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. And it's and if we read this chapter, it's a very interesting thing which you can see that whosoever is offering prayer, in their prayer there is a kind of criticism, indirect criticism or blame of others. I mean, I'm going to describe in a little bit. So how everybody is praying to the Lord, and then there is a slight indirect criticism in everyone's prayer. So we can understand it in this way: when there are two children of a mother, and two are fighting, and as soon as mother comes, one child will give his explanation, and he will say, I was not doing it, he was doing it. And this is a direct criticism. But demigods, because not the demigods only, all the personalities have much more intelligence, so that's why they are giving the indirect criticism to each other. So see how. So the first prayer was done by Daksha, and Daksha said, you are pure, situated in your spiritual abode, transcendental to all speculative position, and you are completely spiritual. You are one without the second, and you are fearless. And you are the controller of Maya, and you never get affected by Maya because you are self-sufficient. So I am not going to explain the criticism for all the personalities, because we don't have that much time, I guess. But whatever best I can do, I will try to do. So he's trying to say that you are never controlled by the Maya or these material modes. Although Lord Shiva, he get covered by the covering of ignorance. That's why Lord Shiva got hurt, and he had anger, which he showed through Veerbhadra and his followers. And the priest also in next category, priest come, and they were praying to Lord Vishnu, and they said, because of the Nandi's curse, we are now absorbed in our fruitive activities, in our karmas. Now through these activities, may these demigods get their share. And now we don't know the truth about anything, so please we don't know the truth about anything, so please help us. So here priests are also saying that how can because of the Nandi's curse, now we are engaged into these fruitive activities. It's not our fault, I mean. So that's the criticism we can understand, or the comment we can understand from here. And the assembly members also prayed to Lord Vishnu, and they said that they also prayed and they said, when will a person moving in the troublesome path of will samsara, fear of wild animals, forest fires of lamentation, mirage of material happiness, fearful snake of time, afflicted by lust, take shelter of your lotus feet. So they are saying, the assembly members, about Daksha, that all these words were used by all these words, they are used for Daksha, that how they are not understanding how any person can take the shelter of your lotus feet. Now comes Lord Shiva. So when Lord Vishnu arrived, at that time, Lord Brahma, Daksha, Indra, demigods, and also Lord Shiva, they all bow down to Lord Vishnu, proving the supremacy of Lord Vishnu. Because in this canto, this particular section we are reading, and in many places, Sati, Mother Sati, and also Lord Brahma, called Lord Shiva as the supreme person. But here we can understand that how Lord Shiva is also paying obeisances to Lord Vishnu when he arrived in the arena. And then Lord Shiva also offered his prayer to the Lord, and he said that, oh Lord, my mind is fixed on your lotus feet, and I do not consider this criticism, because this is a part of ignorant, because this criticism has been given to me by the people who are ignorant, and by your mercy I am not affected by it. Now Bhrigu also offered prayer that, please forgive us for our behavior. Whatever we did, please forgive us for that. And we cannot understand that you are the absolute truth, and we should not fight like that. And then Lord Brahma also also offered the prayers by saying that your transcendental Swarupa cannot be understood by anyone through any material processes of acquiring knowledge. And then Indra also offered prayers, and he was offering prayers, and he was relishing the eight-handed form of Lord Vishnu. And then wives of the performers of sacrifice, who were performing the sacrifice, there were ladies also, there were wives of those performers also, and they came and they also offered prayers to Lord Vishnu and said, please revive this sacrifice that has been destroyed by Lord Shiva, who is angry at who was angry at Daksha. So again, we can see that how it's offering prayer that please revive this, because it has been destroyed by the anger of Lord Shiva onto Daksha. And then sages also, again, sages paid obeisances, and sages offered their prayers and said that your activities are very astounding, and you perform actions by your potencies, but you are not contaminated by them. You are not even attached to Lakshmi for wealth. So we can see that in every prayers, especially the prayer given by Brahma, prayers given by Daksha, prayer offered by these sages, explain a very nice philosophy, a tattva about Lord, that how Lord, although he is in this world, he is manifested through his energies in this world, but again, he's aloof from that. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita also, in chapter 7 and also again in chapter 9, Lord Sri Krishna has explained that how through his different energies, the spiritual world and the material world is manifested. And again, but he is very happily sitting into his Goloka Vrindavan, enjoying his pastimes. So that's the indication which sages are giving. Although you are maintaining everything, nothing is different from you, but still you are never affected by any of these things. So next category is Siddhas. Siddhas also offered prayers. And they said that our mind merged in the nectarian river of your transcendental pastimes and desires never to leave such transcendental bliss. That means they are accepting you by saying your transcendental pastimes. They are accepting by saying that Lord is a person, and they are not interested in the impersonal form of the Lord. As devotees of Lord Krishna, we also we know that we know that there are three stages of Brahman realization, and the three stages are Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also, it has been explained very nicely, that how these three different stages are there, but the intelligent person, he takes the shelter onto the lotus feet of the Lord, which is the personal form of the Lord and is the absolute truth. And in that personal form of the Lord, Chittanand Vigraha is him. And Brahma also in his celebrated Brahma Samhita says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidanand Vigraha. And Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam, that he is the cause of everything and he is Ishwar. And also he is saying that he is Satchidanand Vigraha. He is full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. So all these three stages fully manifest in the personal form of the Lord, which is two-handed form of Lord Shri Krishna. Even Srimad Bhagavatam, verse number 1, Janmadi Asya Yataha, explain that everything is coming out from Lord only. All the manifestations in the world is coming out from the Lord only. And also in Canto 1, chapter 3, verse 28, it says, Ete cham sakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And not only that, if we go in Samaveda, one of the Upanishad, we can see that the Lord Shri Krishna, the name has been principally mentioned that he is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. And our very own Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this topic very, very nicely in his Krishna Sandarbha about how Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, let me go further. I think I'm taking a lot of time in here. So Prasuti. Next, Prasuti, who is the wife of Daksha, he also starting who also starting offered prayers. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport has mentioned that Prasuti is the sister of Devhuti, and Devhuti is the mother of Kapila Dev. So in this relation, in this regard, we can see that Prasuti is aunt of Lord Vishnu. I mean, because Kapila Muni is Kapil Muni, his mother is Devhuti, and Devhuti's sister is Prasuti. So that's why there is a relation. And what Prasuti's prayers are, she said, "O Srinivasa, O Srinivasa," that means he is relating Lord Vishnu with goddess of fortune. O Srinivasa, be pleased with us. Without your presence, the sacrifice is not auspicious, though endowed with everything. It is just like a body without the head. So she has mentioned here that how the sacrificial arena without the presence of Lord Vishnu seems like a dead body without the head. And it happened before because because her husband died and the head was chopped off. So little indication is here also by Prasuti to Lord Vishnu. And then there were prayers by Lokapalas. And then they said Lokapalas, who are the controllers of lokas, all planets. So we believe only in the direct perception, sense perception, and see you as a creation of material world, although you are beyond the 5 elements. Again, in Canto 2, Chapter 5, it has been very nicely explained that how this creation comes into picture, and how from the Mula Prakriti, Mahatattva, and then how darkness of false ego, how all these gunas come out, and how mind, intelligence, ego, their sense objects, and how the Sankhya philosophy explained that how these 24 elements come into picture. So these lokapalas, or the controllers of the planets, they are saying the same thing here, that we can only perceive things which are direct sense perception. So therefore we cannot we can just for us, you are a creator of the material world, but yet you are beyond the 5 elements. And what are the earth, fire, water, ether, air? All these 5 elements you are beyond. But again, in chapter 7, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna has mentioned that all these 5 main elements, even mind, intelligence, and ego, they are every sense objects, they are his expansions. So, and how they are its expansion? He is the expansion. Lord Krishna has energies and external energies, the expansion of Krishna, although it's inferior energy, marginal potency, also separated part and parcel of Krishna. And it says that energy is not different from the energetic. So in that way, we can understand that everything belongs to Krishna and everything is Lord Krishna himself. And later on in the same chapter, Lord will instruct Draksha about the same concept or the principle. We will see later. Yeah, so next were Yogeshwars, or great mystics. They just said that you are very, very dear to all the Gyanis also, Bhaktas also. You are Bhaktavatsala, and we are paying our obeisances to you. And then Vedas personified also prayed to Lord Vishnu and said that you are the shelter of us. And then fire god also paid his respects, or offered his obeisances to Lord Vishnu, that how you are sacrifice personified, and by whose power I bright with, and the fire god is saying that I bright with fuel and carry the sacrificial oblations because of your power. Lord Krishna in chapter 7, when he is explaining about his vibhutis, he was saying that everything is emanating from him. Even the heat in the fire is him. Everything is emanating from Krishna. And here we can see that how different great personalities are giving us, are just pointing out all these things again, proving the fact that Krishna is the supreme personality, or Vishnu is a plenary portion, and who came in the sacrificial arena. He is the plenary portion of Krishna. How he is the only person or only supreme. Now devatas, or demigod, also pray. This is general demigods, the whole crowd, that you are the protector, maintainer, and destroyer of the universe, so kindly protect us. Why they are saying that? Again, because everything happened in the sacrifice was not favorable for anybody, for the devatas or also for the followers of Shiva. So they are praying, may Lord protect us from everything. And then Gandharvas also offered obeisances and offered prayers. And then Vidyadharas, they offered prayers, and they said the main point was a materially observed person can reject illusion by hearing Krishna Katha. So as devotees of the Lord, we can see that illusion or bewilderment. What is illusion? Illusion is not that which is false. Illusion is the meaning of illusion is, Srila Prabhupada has explained in one of the purports, he explained illusion means misinterpretation of something with other. like misinterpreting rope with snake. So rope is there. It's not that rope is not there. And snake is there. Not snake is not there in the rope, but in our mind, snake is there. But we are misinterpreting the rope with the snake. So illusion is that kind of things. Maya, yeah, which is not, and yeah, that thing which is not there. So it's not that Maya is not means it's not there. It's the illusion. This material world, we are conceiving this material world, we are misinterpreting this material world and connecting their spirit soul with this material world. That's our illusion. So that's what Vidyadharas are saying, that a materially conditioned person can reject illusion just by hearing Krishna Katha, because by hearing Krishna Katha, we understand the position of Lord. And when we increase our service towards Lord Krishna, then at that time, what happened? Lord inspire us from inside, and we get the association of all like-minded devotee. We understand the philosophy. We try to work in Krishna consciousness, and then Lord himself helps and protect us. And therefore, while living in this material body, still we can connect to the Supreme, and then comes under the internal potency of the Lord. And this external potency will leave us at that time when we reach up to the stage of bhava or prema. So it's very important to understand that we think that this external energy of the Lord, it's very simple, or we can just cross it. But Lord Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying that Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mam Maya Duratya. Devi, she is the Devi, and she is mine Maya. Nobody can cross it. Nobody. Only a devotee, by hearing Krishna Katha, by following the simple process, can overcome this problem which we are facing, the three miseries: Adhyatmika, Adhyabhautik, and Adhyatma. And under that, the subcategories for miseries: death, old age, disease, disease, birth. So we can avoid, if we hear Krishna Katha and we connect ourselves with the Supreme, then we can just go back to Goloka Vrindavan, or the in the spiritual world. So anyway, so next is Brahmanas. Brahmanas also prayed to Lord Vishnu, and they said that you are sacrifice personified as Varahadev and are praised by great sages. If chanting your name destroys obstacles, then how much more will your very presence destroy obstacles? And now this was 40 verse from 45 to 47, and now the prayers have been stopped. All the prayers have been happened, and now 26. Okay. So from the verses 48 to 54, now the Lord instructs Daksha. Now from 48 to 49, the Lord is pleased and addresses Daksha. So when this happened, Lord was very, very happy, and he pleased. And when Lord was pleased, then he started instructing Daksha. And he said, from verses 50 to 54, he started addressing Daksha, and he said that there is no difference between me and demigods, Brahma and Lord Shiva, and they are just the different names of the same person, of the same original person. But whosoever think that they are different, that person is in ignorance. Now, when we hear these statements by the Lord, then impersonalists, they just start thinking, oh, Lord himself is saying that everything is Brahman. So what is so how our philosophy, or the and the thing which we follow, is that we are different from the Lord, and at the same time, we are not different. So Srila Prabhupada has very nicely explained that how Lord, and not in these purports, but also in various purports in Srimad Bhagavatam, and also in Bhagavad Gita, and also other commentaries which has been given to us by other acharyas, that how Lord himself is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, that Mata Sarvam Pravartate iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvita, that everything is emanating from me. And as I explained earlier, that although Lord has various energies, he has so many energies that Lord Ananta Shesh, he's trying to explain and he's trying to recite the glories and the potencies of the Lord every day, but still he is unable to do that because Lord has so many potencies. But primarily, which we know is he has three potencies: internal potency, external potency, and marginal potency. And through internal potency, the spiritual world has been emanated. And internal potency, though she is the controller of external energy also, or a shadow of the internal energy, this external energy. And through this external energy, how because of the Kala Shakti and the glance, when Lord Vishnu glance over the Moola Prakriti, in which all the three gunas were in equilibrium, that Moola Prakriti, it start agitating with the Kala Shakti of the Lord, and how this Prakriti became how Mahatattva, and how the false ego of, and how Lord impregnate Prakriti with the jivas. And then very nice explanation has been given into Canto 2 as well as in Canto 3rd. So if anyone wants to just refer. So how the Prakriti and the nature, material creation comes into being, how all these elements come, and then with the external energy, and then Brahma, Lord Brahma just make different these planets, all 14 planets are there, and how also these 14 planets are there in the body. We can think that Virat Purusha, all the planets are in the body of Virat Purusha, which has been explained, that how Patal Lok and Sutal Lok, they are feet of Lord Vishnu, and the whole explanation is there. So the Virat body, the person who don't want to understand the personal form of the Lord, but for him, it has been explained that he can meditate on the imaginary or temporary material form of the Lord, which is called Virat Rupa. So if we see like that, everything is manifesting from Lord. And as it has been mentioned, and I said earlier, that energy is non-different from the energetic. So, and at the same time, it is different also. And Srila Prabhupada so many times has given the example of sun planet, that how the light and the heat which is emanating from the sun, and also he has given the example of fire, that how heat and light emanating of the fire is fire, because without heat and heat and light, there is no fire, and we cannot call it fire. And again, we cannot say this heat and light is fire. So this is our philosophy, which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Achintya Bheda Abheda Bhed, which is inconceivable. We are at the same time, we are similar to the Lord in quality, but at the same time, we are just anu, or we are very less in quantity, and that's why we are less in quantity. And we just accept this conditioned form of life because of our false ego. We don't want to accept the Lord as our Lord. So and for us, for those conditioned spirit soul, Lord has made this material world. Like sometimes if our child tells us, I want to play, so what we do, we make a small little area for him or her, that okay, this is your play area, you can play here, and play here as far as you want, right? And the play area is still in the house. So similarly, this material world is still situated in the spiritual sky. but there is a small cloud of Mahatattva, or a small material world is there, and rest of it is spiritual world. Although this still is situated, this material world is situated in the spiritual sky, as the toy house, small toy room is situated in the entire house. And then Lord is so merciful that in order to fulfill our desire of not accepting him as the Lord, he has created this material world as a toy room for us. And he is saying, play as much as you want. And when you are fed up or frustrated with this and understood the process, then or understood that I am your real father, then come back to me. And so the point here is that how Lord instructed Daksha that everything is me, and especially demigods and Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva still come in different categories than demigods. So these powerful demigods became powerful only because and still they are living entities like us, but they did pious work in their previous lives, but and also devotion, they had devotion to the Lord, but it was mixed with the it was mixed, it was not unmotivated and uninterrupted. So one who does unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service, as the definition given by in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, that person will achieve Krishna. So here they become the controllers or for maintaining the affairs of this world, material world. So Lord is saying that one who understands that they are different from me is in ignorance. For example, if there is a company, let's say an example of Merck. So Merck is there is a owner and there is a peon. So if a peon comes and give you the message, then you will still consider the message of the peon as the message of Merck. So similarly, Lord is saying that these demigods are engaged in the service by me. So therefore, don't think that they are different from me, and don't disrespect them. But at the same time, do not start worshipping Lord demigods on the same position as Lord Vishnu, because it is not recommendable. And also that as devotees of the Lord, we should know this clearly, that Lord Vishnu is the only supreme personality, and at the same time we should know that we are qualitatively similar to the Lord, and we should respect all the demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and we should respect them. And we should understand that they are devotees of the Lord, and they are doing their business just to please Lord, like we do for our senior Vaishnavas, senior devotees. So if we are insulting the demigods, or we are just taking them cheaply, then our devotional service has not even been started, because it says that servants of servants of servants, and here we are breaking this principle of servants of servants of servants when they are demigods who are engaged in this service by Lord Vishnu himself. So here Lord Vishnu very nicely explained that how these jivas, even my devotees. And then in verse 253, which I found to be very interested, he said, my devotees never see differences between me and all the jivas, just as a common man does not see any difference between himself and his limbs. So Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he is giving credit to the devotees that how my devotee has that vision, and my devotees can understand that all these things, how these demigods and every energy of mine, all the manifested and how all the manifested energies of mine, how these energies are similar to me and at the same time are different from me. So my devotee understand. That's why the word my devotees have come here, and they do not differentiate. How becoming a devotee of the Lord can educate us what is the real position of the Lord, and how everything is different and at the same time not different from the Lord. And also in Bhagavad Gita, Lord mentioned Bhaktya Mama Bijanati, that only my bhakta understand me, or only my devotee can understand me. I understand my position. So it says Sarva Khilam idam Brahman. Everything is Brahman, but still my devotee understand the position and he don't make any distinction. Also in 5.18 Bhagavad Gita, it said, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Astini Suni Chena Cha Pakeja Brahmana Kavi Brahmana Pandita. Sorry, I just forgot the last line. So he
Pandita Samadarshana. Pandita
yeah.
Samadarshana.
Thank you. Pandita Samadarshina. That Lord is mentioning that how Pandit, the Pandit or the intelligent person, my devotee, understand that how everybody is same. How dog, how a Brahmana, they are same, and they know the position because they see that Lord is situated in the heart, in the Paramatma form, in every living entity. So I thought that just a little bit explanation. And now from 50, I'm sorry, I'm going over time. I will just wrap up in 5 more minutes. 55 to 61, Daksha completes the sacrifice. Now, Daksha, he worshipped Lord Vishnu after Lord Vishnu instructed Daksha, and Lord Vishnu explained him about his true position and explained him how Daksha was not correct in insulting Lord Shiva in the assembly. We can see that Lord Vishnu did not instruct or give any kind of instruction to Lord Shiva here. He gave instruction only to Daksha because even Lord Vishnu, he understood that the mistake was committed by Daksha. Although in the prayers offered by different personalities, when they were offering prayers, they were mentioning that how, because of the anger of Shiva, because of this and that, everything happened. But Lord Vishnu at end instructed Daksha that how ignorant people only, they make distinction between my devotees or the people who are managing the affairs of this material world. So Daksha worships Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and by the permission of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, he just started his sacrifice, and he gave the oblations to Shiva and gave oblations to Brahma and all the other demigods, and then demigods departed from the sacrificial arena. And now from 58 to 60, it has been explained by Maitreya Muni that how Mother Sati, she is going to again take birth in the womb of Menaka, who is wife of Himalaya, and then again Mother Sati will chose Shiva as her husband, and then and how Matre Muni is saying that he heard this story from Udva, and now at the verse 61, he is mentioning the Shruti that whosoever with great attention will hear and narrate the pastime of this, the pastime will narrate the pastime of Daksha and Shiva, and it will, what is going to happen? It will destroy all that person's sin, whether the person is a speaker or the listener. So it will destroy the sin of all the people. So as devotees of Krishna, we should pray that we should get a Falashruti, that we get more and more attachment onto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, so that we can continue our bhakti, our process without obstacles in our life. Hare Krishna. So that's all for today, and I'm very, very glad that I got this opportunity today to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. If by my limited knowledge and I have made any kind of mistake, please forgive me. Please forgive me, and please pray for me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Madhavi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Such a big chapter, Mataji. You covered exactly 1 hour. You did not go any overtime. We started 5 minutes late, the class. So, exact 1 hour. Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a beautiful summary. The way you explained everything in detail, how the demigods were trying to point out each other's mistake instead of telling that they did a mistake. Everything that you explained is so nice. And also the last you said that Falastuti is like we pray Krishna that we get a devotional service attitude towards him. Thank you, Mataji, for such a beautiful class. Everything you explained it very, very detailedly. Very grateful to you, Mataji. I don't have any questions, but the class was so nice. I could see the whole chapter in front of me. Thank you so much. We have one raised hand, Mataji. Sukaka Krishna Prabhu, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Vintamataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Madhavi Gaurangi Mataji, you are really splendid, Mataji. I see a big future for you. The way you explained, you covered everything. You are from Bhagavad Gita, you brought it from Jiva Goswami's, everything you brought. And also you told about how we should not find any fault in others. And you also brought about Veda, Achinta Veda, Veda Tattva. Really, Mataji, you did a fantastic job. Whoever will listen to this video, definitely the eye opener and the revival of whatever lost. I think your class is superb, Mataji. Awesome. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
All the
much,
best.
Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare-
All goes to Srila Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj. Thank you
Hare
so much
Krishna.
for your
Thank you,
time.
Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. If anyone, no,
Yes, Mataji, Rasa Mataji, right? You can go ahead with your question.
Hi, Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I don't have any questions. Thank you so much, Madhavi Gaurangi Mataji. You did really great job. I haven't read this chapter very well, but the summary that you gave is going to give me a very good sight when I go through it. Very good, Mataji. Thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you so much,
appreciate your
Mataji.
association.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji.
I think Rajeshwari Pran Mataji, is that correct? Mataji, please go ahead.
Sorry,
VPDD.
Mataji, I have my name short form. I just remembered.
I
Thank you so much,
understood even though you put
Mataji.
a short name,
Oh, you're
Mataji.
so smart, Mataji. You got it. So thank you so much, Mataji. Your class was so wonderful. The enthusiasm, with the enthusiasm, you speak so nicely. We cannot even take our ear or eye off the screen. That's
You're
so
so kind,
inspiring. That's very inspiring. And the conviction it coming from your heart. That is very good, Mataji. Thank you so much for giving this nice summary. I just have one question or clarification. If you read somewhere or in any other commentary, that Daksha was given a goat's head, right?
Yes,
Because it said he had the words and intelligence of a goat.
yeah.
So I don't know what is the nature of goat is, because goat is, to me, it's like a very calm animal. I feel like, it's like a calm animal, like a cow. Actually, what Daksha was doing, he was envying, he was blaspheming, he was using very harsh and insulting words, right?
Yes, yes.
So how is it compared to the intelligence and words of a goat? So that's the reason he got the goat head, right? Did you read
Yes.
anywhere any
So,
purport or commentary from other acharyas?
Yeah, Mataji, very nice question, Mataji, very nice question. So when you are saying, so when I was reading, so I was contemplating on that too. So Mataji, if we see that the animal life is or any animal is low, goat is a lower species of animal, right? And animal itself is a lower species, is a low species. So in the purport, one of the purports where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about that how about the name of Lord Shiva, he is mentioning that one of the name of Lord Shiva is Pashupati. Pashupati is the person who can actually correct the animals, or who can actually check the animals, or who can check the animal kind mentality. So if we see, Mataji, the animal is a lower species, lower than human being, and in purport in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada has mentioned that human form of life is the complete manifestation of intelligence, complete manifestation of intelligence. But and when we become devotee, then we use that complete manifestation of intelligence to understand the position of the Lord. But Daksha, because he had the intelligence of a goat, although he was in a body of a Prajapati, he was the son of Brahma, and he used the words like goat. Although goat, as you compare, that goat is a very calm animal, but still goat has the very less intelligence than a human form of life. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport, in one of the purports in this shloka, in the very chapter, he is mentioning animalistic form of intelligence, Pashupati, because he's Pashupati, he is checking. So we can understand by this, when the word this, he had words and intelligence of goat, we can understand by this that Daksha, although he was in the position of a Prajapati, he had the best intelligence, but he was using it as the intelligence of an animal or intelligence of a lower species of life. So he was not fit. He was not fitted in the position of that Prajapati. He was not fitting because his intelligence was very poor. So that's why it has been compared to a goat, specifically here, any kind, if we don't look just at the goat, we can see that any kind of animal we can see. And because the goat was there to for the sacrifice, goat was there. So the goat was there for the sacrifice, and Shiva, he just took the head of the goat who was meant for the sacrifice, just take the head of goat and just put it back on and put it on Daksha. So when they say, when it says he had the intelligence of intelligent and words of a goat, that's why he got the head of a goat. So we should understand that Daksha, he had the intelligence and words of just like an animal, of a person, of a living entity who is in the lower species of life. We can see that goat cannot explain things. We can see that goat always do it cannot speak, and goat is a animal with who has less intelligence. So that's why it has been compared with an animal, not specifically with the goat, but because goat was there as a sacrificial animal, so the head was given to him of goat. So that's how we can understand that in the purport also, how Prabhupada is mentioning that Shiva is a Pashupati, in order to check the animalistic consciousness of people, Lord Shiva is there. So I hope I tried to explain what I read.
Thank you, Madhaji. It is very nice. So I understood that there are 2 points. One is the animal consciousness.
Yes.
And number 2 is, then you can argue there's so many animals. Why pick goat? Is because the goat was in the sacrifice arena. So
Yes.
those 2
And
points
it was
now,
Mataji, it was
that makes
written in
sense.
the chapter that goat
Because
was,
that can be asked too, right? Like, why goat? Why not different animal head? Any animal is a lower consciousness.
basically,
So
yeah.
that's very beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
basically they are comparing it with an animal. We can see that how in so many places in Bhagavatam, how the great personality, they got cursed and become Shudra, like Vidura, we know, and so many others, that how Shudra they become. So he had when we say goat, it means an animal. And he had the intelligence of just an animal, because he was not understanding the position of Lord Shiva. So that's the thing, which not specifically goat, but lower species of life. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you so much for that beautiful question and nice answer. Sundaranand Babu, go ahead.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madhavi Gaurangi Mataji. It's a wonderful class. It was so nice. It's a long chapter with so many prayers, but you still covered very nicely, taking the summary and essence. And I really liked how you explained the Chinta Beda Beda Tattva toward the end, and which underscores the point that we need to respect everybody, understanding that we're related to Krishna and spiritual in nature. And that's the important takeaway from this chapter for me also, about respecting everyone according to their level and according to their position also. That's one. And then I wanted to share a couple of comments regarding the goat thing. You explained nicely about the two points that Rajesh Mataji also summarized. One of the thing I was remembering about the goat thing is, by having animal head on top of Daksha, is also put to shame in one sense. That way, now he has to roam around with that head. That's what the devotees also describe like that. So that is one way of teaching him a lesson, that by mistreating devotees, by insulting devotees, so now he has to face the consequence of roaming around with goat's head on top, like that. That's the other thing I was remembering.
Yes, yeah, it's given in the purport, Prabhu, that how he is called Pashupati, and because of this reason, how he check the animalistic consciousness of people and turn them to Krishna conscious also. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving the opportunity and for explaining. Yeah, Prabhu, go ahead. If you have more comments, please share.
Oh, nice, Mata. Yeah, no, I will share a couple of more things, and other devotees also can share, so that way we can relish Krishna Kada only.
Yes.
So other thing I was noticing in this chapter was, in the earlier verses, it was mentioned that Daksha was absorbed in himself. That's why such a person who is absorbed in themselves, they cannot understand the Supreme Lord like that. They lose the power to understand the Supreme Lord. And then later verses, when the prayers came, and I think you also highlighted that point, how illusion is destroyed by hearing Krishna Kada. So even though somebody is materially absorbed, somebody is selfish absorbed, then by hearing Krishna Kada, their illusion is destroyed. That means they can understand the Lord also. That was a connection I was making. It is so basically Krishna Katha is so powerful for us to remove our illusion and to understand the Lord also. That's another point I was thinking about, Mataji. And then the last one was, is interesting that the ability, of course, all the abilities we have come from Supreme Lord. Even the ability to pray is also coming from Supreme Lord. Normally we think after we pray, we get something from Supreme Lord like that. But even ability to pray also is coming from Supreme Lord. And by seeing the nature of the prayers of these different category of people, we can see how they are at different levels in terms of their consciousness also. That's the other observation I was making, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you for a beautiful class, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the kind words. I'm just repeating the words from Bhagavatam. It's not I did not add anything. I mean, everything it's coming just like we always say postman. So I'm exactly same. I did not add anything. It's not, credit goes to me, credit goes to Acharyas, credit goes to Srila Prabhupada only. So thank you so much for the kind words. If anyone else has any comments or questions or additions, corrections, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I think no one has any more questions or realizations. We can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances. Induleka Mataji is saying thank you for the beautiful class and love the realizations. We will end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances. Charu Mataji, thank you so much. She's saying wonderful class. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo
Kripa
cha
sindhu eva cha
patita
patitana
vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Anta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
High
Jai.
Grace Madhavi Gaurangi Devi Mataji ki
Jai ho! Gaura!
Yeah.
Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga.
Hari Bol.
Jai Sri Radhe Shyam, सबको मिले वृंदावन धाम।
Very
वजन
Jai
की
Krishna
जय हो।
Prabhu